Hi everyone, welcome to yet another video from Data System Academy. So today we are going to talk about DP-700 or Azure Fabric Data Engineer Associate certification. So in this certification we are going to talk about what is Azure Fabric and like what is this certification is all about, and in the upcoming slides we are going to talk about how this certification can be, like how this certification is divided into multiple areas, right? If you are going to apply a certification, anything, not just this one, right, you got to understand what is the syllabus and you should be able to divide that into multiple areas, so that like like what percentage of mark is covered in each area, and you will be able to spend time according to that. So in this video we are going to talk about the different areas with fabric certification, this data engineer certification is being covered, and how we can go deep into and learn it. In the previous video which I have shared in this channel, we talked about how you can apply for the certification, and how you would be able to learn this content from directly from the Microsoft website, right? Microsoft learning portal. So what is fabric in one line, right? Leaving the definition aside, fabric is a unified analytic platform. Earlier we had like Databricks, Synapse, no Databricks, Azure Data Factory, Synapse, and all these things, and we also had DP-203 certification. Now, like from 31st of March, Microsoft have deprecated this DP-203, and they have recommended to take DP-700, which we are talking right now, is a certification for a data engineer. Here, like when you say that you have taken certification on DP-700, that says like you have a good understanding about how you would be using the Fabric platform for the data engineering activities. And we also have DP-600, that is for the analytics people. They're like the visualization, all this area would be more, right? So yeah, so talking about it, the official certification, yeah, we will be talking about what it is covered, SQL, PySpark, KQL. Maybe you haven't heard about the Kushito query language, all these things which you'll be covering in the upcoming slide. So when you divide this certification into three parts, right? uh, Implementation and managing analytics solution, ingest the transformation of data, monitoring and optimization analytics. So this is how the entire certification pattern is divided into three areas. So let us talk through like what each area is covering, and how like what is being like what you have to learn in each area. So implementing managed and analytic solution is nothing but design, development, deployment, right? Deployment of, I can say, more of like developing the data injection activities, defining the workspace management, pipeline orchestration, like more of like design and deployment, I would say. And index the transformation is nothing but pipelines. You may have heard about data flow. Gen 2 is something which something new which we are going to learn. Notebooks, you may have heard if you have like if you worked in Synapse or Databricks, you may have heard about notebooks, right? So notebooks in Fabric, we have notebooks, and uh, like Power Core, you may have heard that in Power BI, Spark, Lakehouse tool. So all these things like more of like the ingestion and transformation, right? Like you will be using query and pipeline, all these things to ingest and transform the data. That is what we are covering in the second session. And third one is like now you have designed, developed, deployed. Now you more of like monitor and optimization, right? It's like diagnose, like how, like what are the issues when you run into issues, how you will monitor the tool, what are the tools which is available in Fabric to monitor this, right? And how you will schedule this data refresh and all these things. So that is what it is, very high level. Now if you go deep dive into each areas, I have another three slides which is talking a little more detailed about what these three areas are. The first one is like workspace configuration under implementation and manage analytics solution, right? If you go to the previous slide, implementation, ingest, monitor, just for IIM, right? Implementation, ingest and monitor, three areas which we are talking. Implement or implementation is nothing but the workspace configuration. You need to set up a Fabric workspace environment, right? Workspace is not like nothing but the environment which you have to build and defining this domain. OneLake is a storage mechanism. Like we have blob storage or data lake storage, right? OneLake is a unified storage mechanism where you would be able to do structured and structured all this data in one location. There are some shortcut and everything which you will be learning in detail, right? And like life cycle management, implementing version control, like how you would be managing this version control. Deployment pipeline is nothing but CI/CD, right? Security and governance, apply the workspace, item level access, like access control is key, right? So when we go through this slide, we are understanding, okay, what is implement and manage refers. And orchestration is nothing but the triggering, right? Event based triggering and all these things, correct? So this is what we will be learning in implement and manage. So when we think that 30 to 35 percentage of your questions are this percentage refers to that 30 to 35 percentage of your question in your exam is going to be in this area. Maybe on version control, maybe how do you grant access to the user, how do you set up a OneLake, how will you create a shortcut. These kind of questions are going to come. We'll also be practicing these questions in the upcoming days. And ingest and transform, we know, like if you have worked in ADF or if you already taken DP-2 know certification earlier, you might know that this is nothing but like bringing the data from one place to another. That is ingest, and transforming is like cleaning and standardizing the data which you need, right? There are two types, like batch is a like batch data, that is like a bunch of data, and stream is like continuous event based, right? You are continuously monitoring a data, that can be called as streaming. And data quality is like handling. So that is what I said, the transformation is like transforming the data the way we want. And data quality is nothing but removing the duplicates, null values, missing, like some, like before we give this to the analytics side, we should be able to provide a quality output. So we have to do this data validation. You may be familiar on that data validations and quality checks before you hand it over the data to the visualization layer or this analytic layer, right? So the ingest and transform is, I think, as like compared to this workcase configuration and these things, ingest and transform is something which easily can be relate when you have worked on ADF or other technologies, CTL technologies earlier. But here something interesting which you are going to learn is like KQL or Kusto query language. That is that is the same like SQL, but it has a different syntax which you will be learning in the upcoming days. And the third one is like monitoring and optimization. As I mentioned in the first slide, like monitoring and optimization is like nothing but monitoring how these processes are going, like the changes, alerts, right? Like how the performance monitoring, you know what is monitoring, that is always like design, development, deployment. The final stage is always monitoring. And like error handling, right? Identifying and resolve the issues across the pipeline, performance optimization. So it is everything about monitoring, how you will monitor. And there are tools available in monitor. There are like how like what are the inbuilt monitoring options which Microsoft Fabric is providing and things like that, right? So this is all about this Microsoft Fabric exam. So just keep in this mind, this is Fabric Data Engineer Associate Exam DP-700, and it covers 3 area, and all are like in the same range of 30 to 35 percentage. And one is about storage and all this. So here before I conclude, just wanted to highlight few points. Like you are going to hear some new terms like OneLake, Kusto query language, how like Fabric is playing as a unified analytic platform, right? So that is how we are going to learn. And how Fabric aims is like this is going to provide a single stop solution where you would be using visualization, data integration tools, data storage, everything in one place. That is in general called the unified platform, right? And we'll also be able to use OneLake to store all the data. It's not just structured or unstructured. You would be able to store all type of data in one place, and you will be able to access that. So that is what we will be learning in very high level. But if you are applying the exam, keep these 3 points in handy, like implement, injection, monitor are the 3 areas which you will be focusing and explaining. And watch the previous video, so that like you'll get the idea where you can like get this content for learning these topics, and where you can practice this exam, and also like how you can apply for the exam. Thank you for watching. Have a good rest of the day.